Hey everybody, it's been a long time since I put in a video, but I took a couple year break just trying to figure out how beekeeping for me would be easier, would be better, make me more successful. In the last 2 years, I've been able to get my hives through the winter, where in several years before, I was always losing hives, or I'd lose them all, or something would happen. Things weren't going right for me. So I started doing a little bit more reading, which I suggest before you ever get started, or when you're new into it, or even after you've been in it for a while, just always read up on new things and even listen to some of the old timers, get advice from them. I've talked to several beekeepers that's been doing it for 40 or 50 years and tried to take some of their suggestions that they've had that's made them successful and add them to my processes. But one of the things that helped me the most was definitely making sure that you've always got enough food in the hive to get them through the winter. And whether I thought I had enough or not, I always put emergency feed on top. I would just take just enough water and sugar to make it clump together. So, I mean, it could be 2 pounds of sugar and just a tablespoon or a teaspoon of water, just enough to mix it all together to where it'll stick together. And then I would put that on top of the hive. I'd put it in a little bowl, like a little hive top feeder where they could get up through the bottom from inside the hive right over the cluster. And then if they needed it, they had it. Sometimes they would use it, and then sometimes I would come out in the spring and still have feed in there, which, you know, that would let me know I had one that used it and one that didn't, and maybe help me with some of the things that I did getting each hive into it, because I've always tried to take notes and kept notes in a hive log book. That's helped as well. One of the ways after I got them through the winter, I needed to grow my apiary. So trying to grow it and keep those alive, what I started doing was I watched Barnyard Bees and David's suggestions on how he does mating nuke. So the first one I did, I made a 3-frame mating nuke. As you know, it's a little, it's got, put 3 frames in it. This one's for deep frames. And I would just go through, I'd find, if I was lucky enough in the spring to find a queen cells in a hive before they swarmed, I could use those in there and then get a frame with some good food on it, had some brood on it, and had stores in it already. And then my 3rd frame would be an empty frame, either an old comb, or I could put one in there where it was a plastic foundation with wax on it to give them something to do. So I would do that, and I was successful at making queens that way. This year, I did not use this bigger hive body, or the 3-frame. And what I used this year was a 2-frame mating nuke, and if you'll see, it's a lot smaller. I can just fit 2 frames in it. And I did the same thing. I was able to take 1 frame that had a queen cell on it, and I put it in there. And then I took 1 frame that just had food and some brood on it and put it in there, and shook a few bees in there, and it worked great. So my little bitty pink hive right here, that was what I just swapped over yesterday from this to 5-frame, and they're doing really well. This little box right here, I just took a 5-frame nuke. In this larger hive that I have right here, when I brought it out of the winter, it was 4 medium boxes. And I just decided, you know, I couldn't find a queen. I went through it twice, tried to find a queen. I was just having a hard time. I knew she was in there. She had eggs and brood, and everything was coming in good. So I just decided I was just going to take the top 2 boxes and take a chance that she was in those top 2 boxes, because a lot of videos I've watched, a lot of times the queen will be up in the top, especially coming into the spring. So I just took those 2 tops and I moved them way down there. It's about 50 feet. And it put those 2 boxes on the bottom and give them an inner cover and a top, and put that on top of there, closed it up. Then I just put a top, inner cover and a top on that one and let those go. Where I got the queen cells was they were already making queen cells and had capped queen cells in there that they were going to swarm. So that's how I got the ones for this. That's how I got the ones for my 5-frame nuke right here. And then I also, out of that, did another 5-frame nuke over there with the other one where I split them off and filled those with a couple of the swarm cells as well. And then what swarm cells I had left in this box right here and the 2 that I moved over there, I just got rid of those. So where I was taking frames out, I was adding frames with nothing on them. So they were just waxed plastic frames going in to where they would have to draw them out. I was hoping that would give me time and they would realize we got a little more space. And then I gave it 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I came back and I checked, and all of those, so I made 4 splits out of the 3 hives that I had coming out of the winter, and I ended up with 7 hives. All of the splits that I did end up making queens. And for me, that was a really easy way to make queens. So, you know, the queen may hatch and the queen may go out, but the queen may not come back sometimes. So I was really fortunate this time that all of the queens came back. So I ended up with 7 hives. So using these has really helped me. Last year coming out, I had some people that were helping me that needed bees in their apiary, and we took this little 2-frame nuke and this, or 2-frame mating nuke and this 3-frame mating nuke, and we were able to take out frames that just had larvae, from day old eggs up through cat brood in them, and some food, and put in here, and was able to make a queen that way. The bees realized they didn't have a queen, and they was able to make a queen from that, and it helped along with this one as well. So I have been successful making queens from just frames of brood and eggs and food, and then been able to do it when I have a capped queen cell as well. So that's a very easy way to do that. And that's what so far has helped me in the last 2 years that I haven't put videos in, has been able to make me successful. But one of the number one things I think you need to make sure you pay attention to is checking for mites. And I've been looking for mites, or checked for mites coming out of the spring, and I do have some mites, but I'm still okay. I don't have but like 3 mites out of the little half a cup of bees, or a cup of bees. So I'm still okay right now. And then after I get to the later on in the summer, after I've got my honey supers off, I'm going to check them again, and making sure that you're treating for mites has been very, very helpful for me. I think that is one of the biggest things that has brought me through the winter and allowed me to have healthy bees coming out on strong bees. Because once you have a hive make it through the winter and it comes out into the spring, man, they boom really quick. So once the maples and stuff start blooming in February, and it's the race is on then. So those are the things so far that's helped me, and what I thought has been beneficial for me. So I hope it helps you. Just if you got any questions, just write something down in the comments, and as soon as I look, I'll try to make sure I'm looking and tracking to see what people say. But those are the things. Any questions, I'll answer them. So until the next time.